We've got a $10 donation here from Kabashi for $10. I already said $10. It's for $10, by the way, if I didn't say that yet. They say, joining the cat donation train. Shoutouts to my cat, Sunny, who bites my feet whenever I move in my sleep. What a cat move. That is just the most cat move, isn't it? We are having a great time here tonight. We got a great run coming up. We've got great incentives, too. When you're making those donations, make sure you're picking that incentive right now. We're trying to get the difficulty upgrade for Sailor Moon. In fact, we've got a donation just about that right now for $25 from Adam N. They say, always love to see Sailor Moon fighting evil by moonlight. Let's get this difficulty incentive met. Thank you so much for that donation and your generosity. And I've got word that Sly is ready to rock. So let's take it over to Sly with Spider-Man 2 Any Percent. Take it away.
Hey, I'm Slyfincleton, and I'm here to show you Spider-Man 2. So let's get to it. Pick an appropriate name. And then timing will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, I do not have time to tell you about how I'm going to skip the tutorial with the built-in tutorial skip. The first thing that I think everybody remembers this game for is the swinging. This game was the first of its kind to introduce physics-based swinging. You can touch the ground, you can slam into walls if you want.
Well, sequel time
and that is going to be the main focus of this run. That is the meat and potatoes. So as I start with the first swing here, already skipped the tutorial. We're starting in chapter 3 instead of chapter 1. And Peter Parker is just about to realize that he is late for Dr. Connor's class. I already know, so I'm going to ignore the game telling me to go to the pizza parlor first, because I know that Peter's about to remember just any second now that he has to go to Dr. Connor's class.
I got so caught up in what I was doing, I forgot.
The most important thing to remember about this game's movement is that it does not hold your hand and it does not limit you. So I can go pretty much as fast as I want to,
right on cue,
and make as many mistakes as I want to as well. But we've already moved on to the first bit of combat, and every bit of combat in this game is going to work a little bit different. Different enemies. But also I'm going to be getting more upgrades throughout the game. So the first combat's pretty basic. I'm just jumping up in the air and trying to use the air combos against these guys to take them out, which I've done pretty well. Got the briefcase, which will never be mentioned again. It's a super secret briefcase. Very important that we rescue it. It doesn't show up the rest of the game. And we've made it to Dr. Connor's class a little late, but we don't have time to think about that because I've got to move on to pizza parlor, and I have to break everybody's hearts. There's no easy way to do it. There are no pizza missions in this run. We're gonna go up to the pizza parlor and then we're gonna say goodbye. So just mentally preparing everybody for that. But this is showing some of the movement challenges here. I've only got one side of buildings to swing with as I make my way to the parlor, which kind of means that I have to make sure that I don't send myself too far to the left or right, which would send me careening into an alleyway or off to the side. There goes the pizza parlor. Say goodbye. Sorry, no pizza time, everybody. Sometimes life is harsh and cruel, and isn't that what being Spider-Man's all about? Just a little bit of challenge. But now I'm making my way to get the first secret token of the run. We're going to see a lot of these and similar types of things. The reason why I'm going out of my way to get these tokens is because in most chapters you need to have a certain amount of hero points to progress. And these secret tokens and other tokens are a very, very easy way to get a lot of hero points for very little investment. I'm barely going out of my way to get these. Right now, Peter's about to remember something else that I already know, that he promised to go meet up with Mary Jane after dinner. There he goes, just remembered. So the waypoint appears. That is a lot of this game, just kind of going to places and doing things, and then just in time for Peter to remember to do them. But as with most things Spider-Man, you get interrupted by some thugs entering our gallery trying to rob it. which is going to show, this is going to be a good example of the type of varied combat in that you're going to see me do some stuff and then I'm never going to do it the rest of the run. So I'm going to do an aerial kick, couple slow-mo hits. The slow-mo attacks give you a unique moveset that is more powerful than the standard moveset. And the important thing here that I'm aiming for is to get the attacks out and then turn off the slow-mo before the second hit lands, which will cause it to do more damage due to we're still not entirely sure if it's an oversight or what's going on there, but you get a damage bonus when your spider reflexes, which is that blue bar, is full, which has caused me to get enough to be able to take these thugs out pretty easily. I've been talking a lot to try to explain things, but we are entering into what is basically an auto-scroller. The only thing I have to do here is keep close to Cat, and I'm going to, at some point, break off and buy some things. So we do have a little bit of time to shoot off some donations. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it feels appropriate to do at least one more Cat donation since, I mean, given who we're chasing. We've got $50 from Cassie Porglezomp. They say, cat donations. We fostered 2 kittens, and we named them GIF and JIF. One with a hard G, one with a soft G. Thank you for finally settling that argument. And we've got $25 from Tempestrel. They say, Slyfincleton always brings so much energy to a marathon. Glad he's getting the chance to show off his skills at GDQ. Donating in memory of my grandmother who passed away a few years ago from brain cancer. Thank you so much for your donation and wonderful memory of your grandmother.
Thank you. Very kind.
We've got $20 from Micah. They say, donating for my partner. Introduced him to AGDQ this year, and he loves it. Thank you so much for your cause. Thank you very much for your donation, Micah, and for introducing yet another person to this wonderful event.
Your grandma. Now that's something I'd like to see.
I've got $25 here from Zero Colt. They say, get the hype train going and the time's low. We're working on it. It's always what we're working on over here.
I have time for about one more.
You got, okay, and I'm going to pre-apologize for my J. Jonah Jameson impression. I'm not going to be good at it, but Suburban Hell gives $25, and they say, Parker, I need you to kick Cancer's butt and get me pictures of Spider-Man now!
That was pretty good.
I mean, I just yelled. I don't know.
That's like 75% of it, I think.
You don't know when to quit, do you?
But yeah, so this chase is about to end right here, which is going to end the first chapter of the game, chapter 3. That makes sense. And bring us into chapter 4. There are 15 total chapters, and some of them are going to be real short, some of them not so much. Chapter 4 is going to go by pretty quick. The first thing is to introduce Daily Bugle missions to the game. So I'm going to head into the Daily Bugle here, first time of many. And there's going to be a little bit of walking as Peter Parker, which is about this interesting. But I'm going to walk up to Betty, get the mission, and then leave, and we're going to make up for all this walking and waiting with some of the coolest movement in the game, hopefully. Empire State Building is a pretty good, is pretty varied, and the main thing is, you can see on that marker there, I'm aiming to get all of the photo tokens. You can get them in any order, but I'm going to go in order, swing around here, grab this, immediately swing out, and I'm going to go into a very specific wall sprint jump to kind of get myself the angle that I need to launch myself to the next one. Do quick wall jump here, break the laws of physics, get up to the next one, do a short wall sprint jump out of it, do the tiniest little baby swing, which can let me jump out of that to get the perfect amount of height to get to this one. And this is my personal favorite. Nice. Do that quick wall sprint, bounce up the pole, get this skyscraper token. I do need those 50 hero points. That's how tight the routing is. If I miss that, I'm in trouble and have to find a backup. So always make sure you get that. What you just saw me do was one of the most important movement techniques. It's kind of a miss it and it's gone moment, but that was a glide. Specifically, I missed a swing on purpose, which kind of causes the game to feel bad for you because you missed a swing. and which then kind of sort of locks your momentum in place, which lets you keep that momentum as long as you want, and allows you to sort of, well, glide for a little bit. It's one of the best techniques for getting through when you don't have a lot of buildings to swing on around you, but you still want to keep your momentum as fast as it was before. But no time for that because we're into Rhino. Here's another thing where I'm going to be doing something that I wasn't doing before. Sort of weird setup here, so I'm playing it safe, but as soon as he's willing and able, I'm going to set him up against the wall here.
Which team's mascot are you anyway?
And then notice there, I'm going to cancel all of my kicks with a wall slide animation,
I'm gonna have to take away your credit card.
which then lets me, you know, do 4 or 5 hits in a second if I want to. Pretty quick dealing with the first boss there, and a lot of the bosses are going to end up going down not in similar ways, but in similar speeds. But I got the next secret token there, which is going to bring me into Chapter 5. And Chapter 5 is, I believe, the shortest chapter in the game. Pretty much all movement, which gives me a little bit more time to discuss the movement. So during the Black Cat chase, you probably saw me go into the shop and buy a few things. What I bought was Grapple, which you need to progress the game, and 2 swing speed upgrades. So I'm already swinging faster than I did at the beginning of the run. Nice little secret token grab there. And that is going to continue throughout the run. Not only with finding places to do some shopping, but also finding ways to make my movement just a little bit faster, and it really adds up. With Harry here, that I believe is the only time you see Harry, so I hope that half second was good. And then I'm going to make my way downtown and find a couple more secret tokens. The first one is nestled in this building right here. Grab that and keep moving. I've got time to go around the building, rather. Usually it's better to go over them than around them. And I need to get a lot more hero points to progress the mission, and tokens just aren't going to do it. They're not enough. So we're going to do the first race of the run. These are little time challenges, sometimes obstacle courses, sometimes just get to a destination like this one. And I'm going to be following this because it gives a ton of hero points, which will be just what I need. Oop. That movement was a little whack. Let me see. I need to get here within 18 seconds, so I'm going to not do that. I'm gonna have to redo that one. Oh, but I really need these hero points. I'm still like 700 down, and the problem with this one is that I still don't have the swing speed upgrades that I need. The race assumes that I have the max swing speed in the game for its a mega time, which I need to hit, and not having that is a little rough. A little embarrassing to miss that, but it's all right. At the mega time, and we are moving on to Chapter 6, which features, you can see all of these camera tokens, which aren't really the same as the Bugle camera tokens. We're not being sent by the Daily Bugle. Bruce Campbell, the narrator, is telling us to get these, and that is the explanation. So I'm getting these. Fortunately, that race dropped me off right where I needed to be to get these. I'm actually gonna get 4 out of 5 because the 5th one activates another Black Cat chase, and I'm not quite ready to do that yet. First, we got to stop by Mary Jane's apartment, and we are, unlike the pizza mission, we are going to do the Mary Jane race, even though it is optional, because again, I need the hero points for it, and it's right here, so might as well grab it. This one's pretty simple. Just get down to the movie theater, have a quick little date, and we can make our way back to the last photo token, quote unquote, which will start the next cat chase. You might have noticed that height height management is probably the most important facet of movement in this game. You can kind of use your height as a resource, and when you burn that height, it lets you go faster, lets you do more swings, because doing as many swings as possible, which is the fastest form of movement, is kind of going to naturally turn you into the ground. But we are on to the second cat chase. I do really quick have to explain that this is not technically a complete auto-scroller. There is some rubber banding going on here, so I want to keep as close to cat as possible. But other than that, we definitely have some time for some donations.
Okay, we definitely have a lot of good ones coming in, and it's tough to pick which meme y'all want me to go with. I'm going to pick this one, though. So this is $25 from Nick O, and they say, Finkleton makes a speed run, tons of fun. Watch him swing really fast in this cool game from the past. Look out. Here comes Slyfincleton. Very good lyrics. Thank you.
Good on writing and performance.
I've got a second song here. We got 25 from Vanya Loswen. They say Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web, fights some crime, but it won't take too much time. Look out, there goes the Spider-Man. Thank you very much for that donation.
View from back there.
It would be better if you slowed down a bit.
We've got $15 from Okmikaras23. They say, hey Sly, while you may not be running a Chizo Mythos game, I'm glad to see you at GDQ. You can do this.
That's a deep cut.
We know you can do this. And I've got $25 from Undecided Apollo. They say, I gotta donate for the game which got me into gaming. Rip pizza time. I'm sorry we didn't get the pizza time. But we gotta go fast. No time for pizza. And then I've got $10 from... Yeah, you got it. $10 from Midgie. They say, I was just about to turn off AGDQ for the night, but as soon as the swinging started, I knew I had to stay and see it to the end. First time watching a run of this game, and I already love it. Well, thank you for sticking around for the run and for the great runner. We appreciate it.
Maybe a little bit of an attitude, though.
Yeah. So during that chase, I bought some more stuff. I bought Air Jump Off Kick, which is a secret tool that will help us later. I bought a swing speed upgrade, and I bought Web Zip. And those of you who have played this game probably remember using Web Zip a lot. And it is a good tool, but it does not beat out swinging. So a lot of the time, if you ever see me using Web Zip, it's usually either I made a mistake or I'm using it for like a very specific position. But we've gone into Beck's arena. Beck has challenged us, Quentin Beck. He believes that we are a phony and that we do not have superpowers. So this competition where we throw prisoners into pits is how we prove that we have superpowers. Yeah. You notice I'm not really aiming super hard for the green pits, which give me points, because here's how it works. There are 3 rounds, and for each round there are a certain number of prisoners that will spawn, and the round ends when all the prisoners from that round are in pits. And it doesn't matter to me how many points I get as long as I win. So I'm mostly just trying to throw the prisoners into the pits as fast as possible while just making sure that I'm beaten back, which isn't guaranteed, but this is a really good start. The patterns are random, and I'm getting pretty lucky. Already 11-2. I'd say that's pretty much a guaranteed stomp. I don't know if there's... Oh, that guy went up into space. Sometimes that happens. I don't know if there's much Beck can do to come back from this, but I will make sure to be wary. Because a tie round does still basically count as a loss for the speed run. You have to do an extra round, and that's no fun. Going in here into this next round, the strategy is generally the same every time, with very slight. If the points aren't going where they need to go, I can make a slight adjustment. Sometimes I get a nice double hit like that, where one thug will hit the other thug and launch them into the pit. That's always fun when that happens. And if you're really lucky, you get the triple. But oh my gosh, we are stomping back. We got destroyed. Usually it's a little closer, but we got no time for that because we're moving into the my personal favorite section of this part, where I get to do this, going through the arena. If I'm not protected by a wall, I can get shot, but as you saw there's a little bit of leniency, so I can go for some some specific, very, very specific jumps to make sure that I don't get shot, or I do get shot there, which is fine. I expected to. Generally, I'm going to end here with two shots to get the 1 cycle, which I will get. Very happy about that. 1 cycle, trying to get 1 cycle back here without having to repeat it from the middle point is kind of a noob killer, and it's very easy to get caught off guard and get destroyed there. That's the end of Quentin Beck for now. We'll be hearing from him in a little bit, but right now I need a little bit more hero points, so I'm going to do another race here. It's shortest race in the game, or second shortest race in the game, but it's very, very close to where we need to be, so very nice to do. All I have to do is get to this position up here within 5 seconds, no issue. And to do so, you might have seen it a few times earlier in the run. I did infinite wall sprint. Basically, I went into a wall sprint and then I jumped out and just immediately, talking like basically next frame, went into another wall sprint. And you can just kind of chain them together to keep max wall sprint speed, since the basic wall sprint without any upgrades has a hard time doing that for more than a second or two, and it wouldn't have been feasible to do that challenge without something like that. But now I've got a little more room to breathe in after finishing Chapter 7, which is a very common run killer. I'm going to do a few things at the shop. I bought another swing speed upgrade, as is kind of tradition at this point, and then I bought some combat upgrades. I bought the 4-hit air combo, which is a very, very spammable, very fun bread and butter move that is going to deal with a lot of the basic enemies going forward. And I also bought the hero punch, which is those of you who are in the know hero punch is the coolest move in the game, and it lets you it's so cool, it slows down time when you do it. But that will come up a little bit further on, because right now Peter is remembering a place he needs to go to again that I'm already going to. But there's kind of, as with everything, there's an axiom with this game, which is that no matter how fast you are, you can never make Peter be on time. So we're going to make our way to this waypoint. I'm not going to actually go to it. I'm just going to swing by it, because after you get within 50 in-game units of it, these thugs are going to rob this store here. So I have to take all of them out. Here's where you're going to see that 4-hit air combo. I can swing directly after the fourth hit, which lets me kind of link these combos together. Don't need to bother touching the ground and jumping again, that's a little too slow. Now we're at a truck. You notice there's an enemy on the back of the truck with a sniper rifle. I'm going to sit on the front of the truck and hope that this enemy is going to shoot that truck. Not too friendly this time. He shot it in the cutscene after it was a little too late, but that's fine. Take care of these two guys. I don't need to actually deal with the sniper. There is a small chance for a game crash here. I'm being as careful as possible. If you move slowly into the cutscene trigger, it tends to avoid it, but I have a backup save just in case, and we are good on that. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried, but we're good. Make it into the next Black Cat chase, which is going to be more of the same, barring one small thing that I'll explain later. So we have some time for some more donations.
We have a lot of donations to go to. You mentioned never being on time. We've got $25 from Game Boy George, and they say, "Oh no, Dr. Connor's class. I got so caught up in what I was doing, I forgot all about it. He's gonna kill me." And we've got, oh, well, here's a pre-apology again for a JJJ. $25 from Ness. They say, "Parker, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Get me Spider-Man." Again, just yell, and maybe it'll happen. We've got $25 from Willem Dafoe. They say, "You know, I'm something of a donor fighting against cancer myself." Well, thank you for being a donor, and thank you for fighting against cancer with us. We've got $25 from Rathor. They say, "Save the pizza, kill the frames."
Ooh.
That's a bid war I would not mind getting into.
Were it so easy.
Were it so easy. And we've got $50 from Prismatic. They say, "My son once covered his hands in syrup so he could stick to the wall like Spider-Man. And surprisingly, it kind of worked. Thank you. That's a good trick. Maybe we all should try that.
Great. Yeah, that's that chase. Ooh, we're into an alley fight with these thugs, and Black Cat being here kind of messes with the physics. It seems to specifically make the homing kick attack that I've been spamming the whole time kind of not work, so I can't really use that swing in between combos strat because it will launch me in a direction that I'm unlikely to be able to home in from. This fight could be kind of chaotic, but if I use this forwarder combo, it'd be no issue. The thing that I mentioned with the Black Cat chase earlier was that there are a couple points in that chase where she would stop to kind of mock you for being slow, even though you're ahead of her the whole time. And opening up the map, like the in-game map, just kind of stops that when it happens. So that's fun. I don't know. Nobody knows why that happens. But we are going into Chapter 9 here, which is maybe not anymore. It definitely contender for the longest chapter and one of the most varied and interesting. You may have noticed it's called When Aliens Attack. The first thing that I got to do here is sit through some Daily Bugle. Generally, when you're at the Daily Bugle, the only thing that I'm doing is leaving because I'm there for the cutscene that activates the mission, and then I'm peacing out. But I'm gonna make a quick trip at the stop here. Ooh, let me try the sentence again. I'm gonna take a quick trip at the shop here and buy a swing speed upgrade, and it's worth it. It's worth the time just to go out of it just to get the swing speed upgrade. They really do make a huge difference. I'm already up to swing speed 5, but I also will need this to finish. I believe Chapter 10 has it as a requirement, so I will be getting it either way. It's just this is the best time for it. Do a little glide here because doing so lets me increase my terminal velocity to fall faster to get into the doors of the theater here. And I'm going to do my best to do a play-by-play of Burning Theater, but it's a little chaotic, so here we go. There's a robot here. I'm going to do a 3-hit air combo there. Missed the jump off, but that's fine. There's a backup here. Go this way. What I wanted to do was jump off of that robot to get to the next one. Instead, we dipped over here, grabbed this reporter. The robot came to me that time. That's pretty lucky. This guy tends to hang out up here, so I'm going to go to him, swing off to the left. You'd think I'd grab this reporter, but first I want to deal with the alien. Get a little swing, grab him on the way. The sprint jumps give you just enough height to get from these balconies to the top platform there. That took a second to grab him. That's a new one. Grab him. I have 3 out of 6, but I also need to deal with aliens who are honestly pretty reasonably clumped up here. The aliens are pretty unpredictable, but usually you can react to what they do, and sometimes they do nice stuff like that, like very friendly, like just clump in the wall and run up against it repeatedly, waiting for you to destroy them. Wanted to help out the run. Very understandable. I've got 2 more reporters here, both of them right here. I'm just going to kind of dip and repeat. Sometimes you accidentally swing off the side platform there. You could react to it and then wall sprint up the side, which looks way cooler but is way scarier in a speed run. So I'm glad I only had to do it once, but also glad I got to show it off. This is one of the only cutscenes in the game you can't skip, but it's Mysterio dialogue, so nobody complains. And then, as you heard, he's messing with the Statue of Liberty, which is probably a felony. So we're gonna go up to that and put a stop to it. As you see here, as it comes up, he's kind of made it into an homage to himself. But there's a cutscene trigger. You notice the waypoints tell me to go to the right. I'm way past that. I don't need that cutscene. If you trigger the cutscene, it kind of puts you on a set path. But if you don't, you can kind of use the in-game mechanic of when you fall in the water, you will wash up on the nearest shore. And I am just close enough to wash up on Liberty Island where I need to be. Fortunately, all the triggers are still in the game, even though I skipped that cutscene. And swing up here, ride the platform, and then I need to take care of these orbs. This is a casual killer. If you've played this game, you probably remember struggling here, but there's kind of a cheese tactic that isn't super obvious, where pressing attack near the orbs is gonna draw you in towards them. So I'm just kind of rinsing and repeating that, getting close enough to the field, and then letting it draw me in until I can punch them. There's one more here. There's the Mysterio Brain here. One combo and then one hit, it's enough to take it out. I think the lowest health boss in the game, if it counts, is a boss. And then at some point, Spider-Man figured out that we need to go to Mysterio's apartment, or secret hideout, or whatever he called it. It's an apartment. So I'm gonna make my way towards here. This is kind of a new route, going diagonally here and making use of the helicopter that fortunately consistently spawns there. And then linking up with this road here. I said earlier that it's faster to go over buildings than around, but if there's not that much adjustment, having the buildings with you there can really help you keep up your speed and make it a lot easier.
Wow.
But here's the secret base. This is it. It's
just like an apartment.
Just looks like my room. We're gonna take a secret elevator down, which I do not have in my room, into Mysterio's funhouse, which I do not. He must be the landlord here. Is that how? I mean, how else? Trying to clip in the door here to hit the cutscene early. I hit it. You notice that the door hadn't left, but I'm fighting these clowns here. I'm going to open up with bonking on the lamp into a hero punch, and then I'm doing something called multi-kicks, where I can cancel the spinning kick animation with a jump off kick into another spinning kick. That was why I bought jump off kick earlier. These clowns only sometimes like to let you do that, and sometimes they do what they're doing now, which is just kind of fly around everywhere. So hopefully this one's nice and lets me do a couple more. Nice. Not too bad. I'm gonna get a health drop. It's the only health drop in the game that doesn't fully heal you, but I've been doing pretty good on health, so I am at full health. Earned mirrors. I need to hit every third mirror. This is how fast-paced the combat gets. We're just going through it all. But generally, I'm just avoiding these clone Spider-Men that are trying to kill me and hitting every third mirror. Only takes a couple hits to take them out, and then I'm going here to finally finish. That was all one mission. Ever since I said we entered Chapter 9. Don't mind that health bar there. That'll go away. We're gonna leave Mysterio's apartment.
Finally out of that crazy place.
And then for some reason, jumping near the window again after leaving will skip Spider-Man's dialogue here, which allows us to go straight into Chapter 10 instead of waiting for the dialogue, which normally wouldn't matter because I'd just be going to where I need to go anyways. But Chapter 10 is pretty tight on hero points, so I'm going to take a race right here. And I like to call this race the jump and web zip race because that's all you do. So probably have a time for a donation or two.
Yeah, sure thing. We've got $25 from Vricarion, and they say, is it really fighting evil by moonlight if it's not difficult? Or is it just winning love by daylight? Here's to getting that Sailor Moon difficulty upgrade. We don't run from a real fight. Thank you so much. And just an update on that, we are at just shy of 4,000 out of 15,000 for upgrading that difficulty on Sailor Moon. So if you get your donations in, make sure you're picking that. We also, this is a kind of a question for you and the rest of the chat. Got $25 from King TDN. They say Spider-Man 3 is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. Agree or disagree, Sly?
That is going to be a disagree for me, but I don't dislike it.
Do you have a favorite?
Spider-Man 2, believe it or not, no shock there. Although
Shocking.
I am quite fond of Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that's an amazing one. Chat, if you have favorites, get those donos in. Let us know.
So right here, I'm going in to fight this. I'm basically fighting just a machine of pure energy that is going to fluctuate in a pattern like this. And the pattern is just generally going to be pulse, wait, pulse, go. And I go there and hit the next machine, which is, I guess, shuts it down. It kind of seems like you would just break it, but I guess that is a way to shut it down. Unfortunately, that is what turns Doc Ock into Doc Ock. So he's going to show up at some point in the story there. But first, we have to deal with some more robots. Trying to land close to the street. As you notice, the robots are coming in from the sky. So I'm trying to get them to kind of home towards me because it is way easier to deal with them near the ground. than in the sky. And fortunately, they were pretty friendly. Could have been better, could have been worse, but as long as I'm able to get them without, you know, doing a full charge jump and some shenanigans up in the air, I'm pretty happy there. You have to meet with Dr. Connors again, a little late. He got injured, so we're going to take him to the hospital, and we will never hear from him again. Hope he's okay.
I think he'll be all right now. I need to figure out what happened.
A lot of this game is just kind of going back and forth to the bugle, but as I make my way there, I have time for a donation.
Yeah, sure thing. We've got $25 from Jonas. They say, lovely to see another great Spider-Man run. Awesome to see some amazing runs of licensed games that are actually very, very good. Thanks, Slyfincleton, for a skilled run.
Thank you. Big swing there, a glide, which is going to put me right in the door. And then that'll pretty much be the end of chapter 10. All I got to do is leave the Daily Bugle as per usual. Wait for that mission screen to go before I can move for some reason.
Is it my fault?
Now Spider-Man's feeling a little conflicted because he's worried that Doc Ock being Doc Ock is his fault. But as per usual, don't have time for that because we're waiting for him to realize that we have to meet Aunt May at the bank, which will go great. Nothing bad will happen.
Nope, wait, whoa.
That's for those of you who remember the bank scene. So making my way over there, gonna kind of go diagonally over here, trying to keep my height. This is kind of like I've kind of been experimenting with this route here, so this may just be kind of a how I feel way here with the movement. At some point I need to go right. Let's try right now. That worked out. And the bank is tough. I'm fighting Doc here, and the first few seconds are I'm either gonna take out Doc basically right away, or it's gonna become a slob fest, and I guess we'll see. Okay. Option 2. I pretty much have no strat here. I just have to improvise my way into taking him out. And Spider-Man really likes to target the thugs, which does not help. Oh, I got grabbed, which is nice and slow as he waits to get me. Going to slow-mo there. Okay, we got him out. Fortunately, I don't have to take his entire health bar out. And now I have to fight his friends here. I do not even know how to describe how cool the thing I just did is, but I basically did the Rhino strat you saw like, what, 30 minutes ago? Where I slid up against the wall, canceling the spin kick animation. That only works in that specific hallway when you're near the ceiling against that thug, which is not a consistent setup at all. But I got it to work. Pretty happy about that, to be honest, but I don't have time to think about it because one of the hardest things in the run is right here. 2 token. I'm trying to get 2 tokens while not letting the helicopter get away from me. Gonna pop a little slow motion for safety. Fortunately, slow motion makes the world move slower than you. If I get 250 units away from the helicopter, I lose, but we are fine. I managed to get both tokens, and it's pretty smooth sailing from here. It's always a tense part of the run. Chapter 11 is one of those ones where it just keeps going. There's just nonstop. Now we got to save Aunt May. No issues there. Just get there before the train. And all the big story excitement of the chapter is done, but I still need a little bit more hero points, so I'm going to be going over here for another race. This race is also pretty difficult. I have to get all the way over there in 12 seconds. Let's see how that goes. Jumping out of my swings, which kind of lets me keep my jump a little bit different from the way I normally swing. That lets me retain height. I managed to get it there in 8, no issues there. I'm going to try to kind of retain my momentum.
Octavius blames me for Rosie's death.
Or not. And then make my way upwards as chapter 12 starts, because you can see there's a way marker there. I've got to make my way over there. But chapter 11's a big one. Chapter 12 is... well, also a big one, but the beginning is a little more relaxing as I just get to kind of swing here. A little glide there. This bit's kind of weird because there's a great example of the utility of glides. I pretty much didn't have anything to swing off of to keep my speed up, so I just missed a swing on purpose and went into a glide, which let me retain my speed. I kind of go over here, need to make my way to Peter's apartment. We glide to go over this building. 0 points are still an issue, and there is a token right here. I bonked off the off the balcony, didn't get it, but it's still here, so I can go back and get it, and then climb into Peter's apartment. And now we are making our way towards another black cat chase, which is going to be a little bit different than the rest in that it's actually kind of scary. There will be a section where I'm in a construction that's probably going to be pretty tense because if you're too slow, you have to do it over again. And I'm trying to get 2 tokens, and it's one of those things where just one mistake can mean a lot. But even before that, I have to worry about that. I've got 2 more tokens I need to get because points are tight. Jump down here, take a little bit of fall damage. That's fine. Get that token there. And then another one here, and then coming up on here, she's going to jump on that building, the hospital, and then across, and I'm going to kind of break paths with her, which is where things get scary. After that, it should be smooth sailing. Jump ahead here. Make sure not to go too fast, because if you notice that bar is getting a little close. Common mistake. Drop down here, 1. Jump up, 2. Really weird camera angle. That's a new one, but I'm good. So with that tension over, we have time for a couple donations.
Yeah, you got it. We've got a donation for $10 from Watcher. They say, I remember playing this game so much, and anyone else who has will remember, I lost my balloon. And on a similar note, we've got Tony the Parasite with $10. They donate and say, oh no, my balloon.
Can't forget that one.
And I've never played this, but somehow I remember a kid saying I lost my balloon. So maybe I did.
It's just kind of like the cultural soup, I think, at this point. It just kind of made its way in.
Exactly. I've got a $5 donation from Toasty who said, donating because of that other Willem Dafoe's donation. And here's a question for you. $25 from Teddy. They say, as a huge Chizo Mythos fan, that previous donation made me curious. Do you actually run the series? Good luck on the run.
I did for a period of time. It's kind of shocking to see. I feel like it's kind of a, less common series of games. But yeah, I did run them, and I would like to come back at some point. So very cool to see like that community kind of pop out here.
You never know where you'll find them.
But right here, this cat chase is over, and this is probably the most tense moment for me personally. Where to the first shocker skip, there's a cutscene trigger on this wall up here, and I need to avoid it, and if I don't, we gotta load a safety save. So I'm aiming for just below that top corner. Can't go too high, we're fine, okay. There'll be another slightly tense moment there, but that was the one I was worried about. You might have noticed Shocker's not fighting back as I've done 2 combos here. Let me just count it out. I need to do 5. That's 3, 4, 5, and then 1 spinning kick, and then I'll actually activate the trigger, because while I skipped the trigger to activate his AI, but his health bar was still functional. But if I were to kill him before activating the boss fight, it would soft lock the game. So I basically beat him to an inch of his life and then activate the boss fight, snipe him out of the air, and then take him out in a couple hits. And that is the entire boss fight. That's like a 3-minute boss fight, maybe a little bit shorter, out of the way just like that. One of my favorite skips in the game. But that's not the last time we'll be seeing Shocker. This will be quite possibly the last shop trip. I'm buying Swing Speed 6, which will be the final one, and then I'm also buying Rising Shoulder Charge, which is, if things go well, we'll never see, and if we don't, I get to do a really cool combo against the final boss. So it's really a win-win to buy it. But yeah, I've reached the final swing speed upgrade, so this will be as fast as I'm going for the rest of the run. Swing speed 6 out of 8. Both of the other ones are post-game exclusive. This one actually you don't need to get to beat the game. It doesn't check to and make you buy it, but it's just so much speed that it's worth going out of the way to the shop to buy it. If you're good at movement. Now we're here going to the Daily Bugle again, and we're leaving again. And we got to go check out. Spider-Man's going to go photograph like a helicopter or something. I sound confused about that because that's not going to be what happens. At some point here, those of you who play this game might remember the Speedy Mart gets robbed by Mysterio. And this boss fight, let me concentrate for the boss fight. Mysterio is in his final form here. You may notice that he has 3 health bars. He's dead, and we're leaving.
Great. Gotta get these
So yeah, that's just kind of a joke boss fight in the game. Any hit will take him out there. In fact, actually, you don't have to hit him. You just need to press the attack button in his general vicinity, and he will fall over. So, and that's the last time we will see him. So, pretty good on that.
This should be a safe.
And back to the Daily Bugle yet again. Big surprise, I'm going to leave immediately.
I can't believe that.
Peter's feeling a little bit disillusioned
Thought it would sell papers.
with how the Daily Bugle treats him.
What did I ever do to James?
And what he needs
Possibly have.
is a little bit of Black Cat chase. But I don't know about you. I'm getting a little sick of these Black Cat chases. Let's just skip this one. Let me just clip into the Daily Bugle here, break Black Cat's AI by tricking the game into thinking she's a little bit further into the chase, where we would normally be fighting some Shocker goons.
I'm on it.
And then re-exit. Now the AI stays broken, and because all the triggers we need to progress the game are already active, I can just leave Black Cat behind and get all the tokens I need and go to that cutscene trigger. Grab that one here. My way over here. Quick glide to break that gap. Need to go this way. I'm a little bit too low for my tastes. It's another token back here. Grab that one, and then there's one last one under the bridge coming up here that I'm gonna need to grab. And I said under, which makes it a little bit more difficult to grab, because there it is right there. Oh, that was really close. No swag grab, unfortunately, but it's fine. Just crawl up and grab it. And then swing. The cutscene trigger is up here by this Shocker warehouse. And if there's been any indication here for Shocker, we're not going to fight him. I'm going to do another skip here. This is an easier skip, but the penalty is worse if I miss it. So, okay, we're good. One combo. Sometimes that happens.
Just where you're
2, 3,
Still a boring name.
4, and 5. And I'm moving him closer to the entrance of the boss arena, so that I'll be just in position to hit him. Normally he would have an impenetrable shield you would have to turn off here, but when he starts the health, the boss at when the boss fight starts and he's at below 1/3 health, it breaks his AI for that too. So there are no issues there, and we get to skip that boss fight. It's like 5 minutes. It's by far the longest boss fight in the game. So honestly, being able to skip it kind of saves this speedrun, if I'm being honest. But we get to go into chapter 14 here. We're already to the second to last chapter. And the game's going to give me way too much time to get to Mary Jane's play. I think it's because this mission can technically activate from anywhere in the world. Since you could technically start the chapter anywhere, but 5 minutes is so long. So I'm already pretty much there. We'll glide there. We'll loop around this way. Actually miss a swing. Didn't end up really mattering. We're gonna go into an alley fight trying to save Mary Jane here from some of these thugs. I'm gonna go for a hero punch. They might block it. That actually worked out pretty well. what really matters is this guy. Oop, I spoke too soon. I was gonna say he didn't block the uppercut, but he ended up blocking my follow-up anyways. But pretty not a bad fight either way. Gonna get a much needed health drop here. Game's pretty stingy with these going forward, and I'm about to go into the hardest fight in the run probably, at least for a health conservation method. About to enter the final interaction, one of the final interactions with Black Cat. This isn't a chase, it's a race, but we do have time for a couple donations here.
Awesome. We've got plenty coming in. A lot of people love Spider-Man. We've got $50 from Becky Chan. They say, my favorite Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man Homecoming because it's a huge comfort movie for me. Also, stay comfy, chat. A tired morning mod. Well, thank you for modding and thank you for your donation. Very much appreciated. And I've got $5 from the Red Eft. They say donating for good luck for Sly on the upcoming most amazing and most difficult boss fight in video game history. Good luck with that Mysterio boss fight. Well, as we saw, it was not much of a fight. And I've got $25 from Rob Poke. They say this is my girlfriend's favorite game for PS2, and watching this year's AGDQ has been a blast. Keep swinging. Love from Sweden. Now,
right.
if I recall correctly, this is on Xbox, right?
Yes, I'm playing Xbox, but it's the same game.
It's on both? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Xbox, PS2, GameCube. And
Okay.
I am in this fight, which is going pretty well so far. It's kind of just like a slugfest, but I am trying to take out a few key targets first, like the sniper. Snipers can take out your chunk your health with shots. And then I want to leave the robots for last, generally. I'm going to be going, yeah. Sometimes they like to throw you around a little bit. Hero punch uppercut. Just sort of an auto combo. I'm basically just holding jump and mashing attack. Saw that he's going for rockets, so I'm going to try to be a little more evasive. But generally, the strat here is go for those multi-kicks and swing cancel them this time instead of sliding against a wall to cancel them. That fight took a little bit more health than I wanted to out of it, so I'm going to forgo a dialogue skip here to make another trip to the shop. And that was why I said earlier that if things go well, that would be my last trip to the shop. But a lot of the times that fight just doesn't go the way you need it to, and you need to go to the shop before. You know, we're basically waiting for Spider-Man to realize that he's unhappy with his life before the game can move on. And he's gonna say a few things there, and so I get to pretty much just chill here while he talks for a minute. So yeah, donation, and we can fit a couple in.
Yeah, sounds good. We've got $10 from Aiden. They say, crazy to see the local Luigi hero Slyfincleton become the world record holding web slinger. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Aiden.
Maybe I can balance.
We've got $100 from Robin. They say, loved this game as a kid. It's a pleasure to watch it, it's a pleasure to watch it played so fast. Thank you, Robin, for your generosity. Very much appreciated.
Maybe I can be Spider-Man and still be with MJ.
I've got $25 from Ash0011. They say, longtime watcher, second-time donator. My favorite Spider-Man movie is No Way Home because it means Spider-Man technically has the first MCU movie now. Kudos to the awesome run and amazing runner. Thank you so much, Ash.
Yeah, so now Spider-Man's realized that he should probably just tell MJ how he feels. We will not be seeing Black Cat again, for better or worse. He realized who he should be with now. He's gonna go for the confession. She turns him down. But while he is a little bit upset about that, I get to go over here, and I'm going to grab one last token to get the final points I need to finish the chapter. And then I'm going to keep going south because a cutscene's about to activate that takes place on the Oscorp building. And if I'm right... There it is, right there. If I'm right next to it, that cutscene loads immediately. That saves like 5 or 6 seconds. It's a pretty new find, and it's free time. So why not?
Yeah. Harry's been a much better.
Make my way down south. There we go. As we start chapter 15. We're already entering the last chapter of the game. And things are about to get a little climactic. But first, I've got to get back to Peter's apartment. Glide there. I'm trying to move diagonally here because I need to go this way anyways. Using my height. A little glide dip into this street, and then I'm going to follow it pretty much the whole way to the apartment. I'm going to make sure I stay in this street. And then make my way across here. I don't need to actually touch the icon there. You notice that it disappeared as soon as I got close enough, which will then activate the cutscene. One of the few times where the game's actually pretty generous with stuff like that. But now we're gonna go talk to MJ about our relationship issues, and nothing bad will happen, just like how nothing bad happened at the bank. It's a little joke. You know, meet up with MJ here. It's really easy to swing past this building, so I sometimes subconsciously take it a little slow like that. And oh no, MJ got kidnapped. We gotta go to the train yard to do the famous train scene where we will be fighting Doc Ock. But I got some. This is some of the more difficult movement in the game. I'm gonna be using a lot of glides to kind of bridge the gaps between these buildings and keep my speed up. I'm also really working on managing my height, because if it goes low like that, then it can be kind of tricky, not slow down. Going over there and through here, gonna be doing 2 big glides. There's one, decent distance, and this one's probably more important and harder to hit, but I got it. Look at that glide, I'm going. And then get my way straight into the cutscene. Now we're gonna try to fight Doc Ock on the train, the first of 2 of the fights. I'm gonna get up close to him, and I'm basically just gonna start whacking in slow-mo. Try to get both of the hits in my combo to connect. Sometimes he kind of forces you away like that. That's a reset, and then he's done. I've been having lots of good train fights in practice for that, and I'm glad that continued, because sometimes he can be a little mean there. Sometimes he forces you away all the time, sometimes he grabs you, but it worked out. And the final bit of straight movement here, I'm going for a huge glide here, got it, and then I'm going to curve off to the right to meet up with the street. We're aiming for the warehouse over here. Do another glide here. Would not have gotten even close to the warehouse if I hadn't done that. Made it in, and now we got some switches to do. This part can be pretty difficult. Let's see how this goes. Start my way over here, charge my jump, get away from his attack, land on the second switch, swing down. The barrier is charging in the background. I'm trying to make it in here before it does. I did. That's really good. That's like the fast cycle. Up here to the next switch. Get this. I'm basically on a clock here. If I'm not fast enough, then it pulses and I get hit like that, but it really doesn't do that much damage, and we bought health. Sometimes it's worth it to take a pulse like that. I knew I wasn't going to make it there, but it's better to just take the pulse and keep going on with your life. That one maybe not the best decision, but got a kind of scary jump here across the water. If I fall in, I have to do this all again. Web zip, climb up and grab it, and we're already into the final boss. And time will be when I get the final hit here and it goes into a pre-rendered cutscene. I'll try to keep you up, but it kind of depends on how he's feeling here. Going for a hero punch loop, hitting him with the hero punch and then dodging his attack to go into the next one. Sometimes he tries to go up in the air, which would make my punches miss, but I fortunately hit him in time. A couple more dodges, just a couple more hits, and that's time.
Awesome run. Really
Yes.
great job.
Pretty intense at the end there. But I think that entire ending section, and honestly, pretty much the whole run, barring like the one failed race,
We have to stop that reactor.
I'm pretty satisfied with how I played the whole way through. That was what was the time? 57
something.
20?
It's 57:21.
That's great. I was just trying to get sub 1 hour and not embarrass myself, but we kind of pulled out a pretty sick run here. Yeah, as CGI Doc Ock and Spider-Man and Mary Jane solve the issues here in this cutscene that is inexplicably way louder than the rest of the game for no reason. I do want to say thank you to obviously GDQ for having me, and the Spider-Man to speedrunning community, you know who you are. If you're interested, check out the Spider-Man 2 leaderboard and the Spider-Man speedrunning Discord. And
I'm sorry I didn't tell you, MJ.
I don't know what else to say. I think other than the kind of the shaky beginning, that was a really fun run.
Now you see why
Glad to
I
have it
didn't.
here.
It wouldn't be fair to you. I was
And
selfish to ask you.
I guess that's pretty much it for me. Thank you for having me.
Mary John.
What an awesome run. Get some more love in chat for Slyfincleton. That was a blast. He was just going non-stop that whole time. I love that movement in that game too. So much fun to watch. We had a lot of love coming in for that run too, including $25 from Raider Monkey. They say this run is a delight. Good luck on the rest of the run, Sly. I like every Spider-Man movie. Yes, even Amazing Spider-Man 2. Thank you so much for that donation. We had $50 from Ravenite. They say, with great power comes great responsibility. Keep doing what you're doing, GDQ. You're an inspiration for others to do better. Also, best Spider-Man movie is Into the Spider-Verse. When I asked that question, I saw chat light up with a lot of Spider-Verse love. So maybe that's the popular one, but everybody's got their favorites. And then you merged the memes on me a little bit here, chat. We're going to give this one a go. We got $15 from August, and they say, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can, beats up droids in the air. J. Jonah doesn't care. He wants photos of Spider-Man. I think that was my best J. Jonah Jameson so far. We've got $100 in from Dr. Spaceman. Thank you so much for that donation. No comment, but your generosity is appreciated. And chat, you stick around. We're going to take a little break, get some hydration, stretch, get ready for some more great runs. We will be right back.